Hello and welcome. In today's exciting episode, I show you some tweed jackets that I've made over the past decade or so. About 13 or 14 years I've been making Chanel style tweed jackets. And these are the pink and red ones, about 19 of them. There's so many beads on this one.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So I thought I would just get out my pink and red tweed jackets so that I can sort of look through them and figure out what next, because I've got a few more pink and red tweeds to make up, and I just want the collection to be, I don't want all the same thing. So this is the only long one. It sort of goes over my hips. I have quite big hips, well, normal size hips but very small shoulders, so my hips look very full. So I tend to wear a cropped jacket, just that way it doesn't accentuate my hips. And so this is the only one that goes over, jacket I've made that goes over my hips. And I tend not to wear it, even though it's this gorgeous Valentino tweed made in Italy, and it's got like so many different colours in there. There's magenta, there's oatmeal, there's white, and they're all different textures as well. Pale pink, that gorgeous Valentino mauvey pale pink. It's a really beautiful tweed, and I do love this jacket, but I don't wear it so much because, and I handmade the trim too, obviously. The lining is digital print Italian silk, and so all the textiles are from Italy in this one, and also some of the vintage sequins that I use on the beaded trim were also hand punched and made in Italy. So I just used them all on the same thing. The next one is a Linton tweed from the UK. And this is a luxury tweed. They sort of have different categories of tweed. This is one of the super expensive ones. And it's, you can't really, if you don't know what you're looking at, it sort of just looks like a normal boring tweed, I suppose. But it's actually just a bunch of really expensive ribbons and laces and wool and all different sorts of threads woven together. So it's, if you know what Lesage tweeds are like, this grade of Linton tweed is quite similar to that. So it's incredibly beautiful. So instead of doing a full beaded trim on it, I just did those tiny little square frosted beads, and I used white thread to stitch them on so that the light passes through it better, and you can sort of see how blue the beads are, and they sort of match, pick up on some blue in the in some of the threads in the tweed as well. The pattern I used for this one is a discontinued McCall's pattern, and it's a vintage, it looks sort of like a vintage Chanel. It's got that cardigan and it's baggy-ish, and this one here has 3/4 sleeves. So this tweed is just so beautiful. I could just look at it. I love the raspberry mixed with cream. It's just so completely beautiful. And I did think about taking out these sort of tealy blue square frosted glass beads and making it using like raspberry beads or something, but I haven't done it. I just like it so much the way it is. Anyway, so I think I need more vintage style Chanel jackets in pinks and reds, because I've got a lot of the Karl Lagerfeld era ones, the short ultra fitted, ultra cropped, really long sleeves. But I think with these ones, I'll make them all in the baggy cardigan, vintage Chanel style. Just because, I've only got like 2 or 3 in that cardigan vintage look. And I think I'd really like some more, because I love all of them, but this is one of the vintage Chanel ones, so it's a bit bigger and baggier, and this has got full-length sleeves, this one. I made this in December last year, so it's a recent one, and it hasn't got its beads on yet, which is why the cuffs and the hem are still, I haven't turned them up yet, because it's easier to bead like before you turn it up, because then you bead it and then you hide all the back by just turning up the hem. So yeah, it's such a gorgeous tweed and it's got so many colours in it. So yeah, I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to bead that one with. But anyway, so the next one we have is, oh, look at this tweed. It's gorgeous. I bought this one on Etsy at the start of the pandemic and it got lost. There was a whole saga for 4 months. They refused to give me my money back. And then finally they were going to have to when it miraculously arrived. But anyway, I was originally inspired by this Dolce & Gabbana jacket. But obviously it's Dolce & Gabbana, so it's not made the best way. It's kind of hobby glue, sort of, hot glue gun type situation almost. Whereas mine is done using the Paris methods. But yeah, so... but that was my original inspiration, and yeah, gorgeous tweed. And I was like, oh, I can make it even more gorgeous by putting a ton of glass, and there are some plastic beads on there, but a lot of them are glass, and it's just one of my favorite jackets. I will say that about every jacket because you invest so much time in making the jacket and then again in beading it, and even just thinking about the design takes quite a lot of time as well. So yeah, I do love them all because I've just invested so much in each one. But I mean, look at it. It's gorgeous. And it's because for those who are kind of new here, I've been collecting beads. Just, wherever I travelled, I'd buy a few, or, I'd get lost and find a bead shop or a fabric store and they'd have some beads and I'd buy some. So I've got this massive collection of beads and sequins and vintage beads and sequins as well. And I've just decided to sort of try and use them all up. So hence the over beading of everything. So this is the next one. I made it this month and I was thinking about beading it and putting maybe some flowers on there as well. So see how it's got wisteria and the bougainvillea in the red as well as pink flowers. I was thinking about putting beads in red and pink and green and maybe some blue as well as some black on there, but I don't know about these white and yellow flowers, the frangipani. I just think once it's beaded it might look a bit basic, if you know what I mean, like I'm trying to bring realism into something that should be impressionist. So yeah, I'm thinking instead of beading it, what I might do is stitch flowers on it. So in the title sequence, I've got that yellow flower jacket. I'm thinking of making a pink and red one. So that's what I've kind of earmarked for that. Next, we have this one I made. Oh, it's one of the first jackets I beaded, I think. This is another lint and tweed from at least a decade ago. And I've got the false pockets at the top. I love doing the false pockets because it means you can use up extra beads. But it just sort of draws too much attention, and I'd rather something subtle. So yeah, I just stopped doing it, and I can just use more beads on the next jacket anyway. And it's got sort of kids beads, but it's also got loads of, see the little runs of vintage sequins. You put like 30 or 50 sequin on it, like you would use a bead, and then it creates that sort of caterpillar looking thing. It's so cool. But it uses up vintage sequins were hand punched, and the ones I used to buy are made in Italy or Paris, and yeah, they're super expensive. So it feels like a waste of them because you can't see how beautiful they are, and that they are in fact vintage, not just regular. So I keep threatening to sort of pull it apart and use them in a way that you can see each and every sequin. But I haven't done it yet because I just love it the way it is. Anyway, what we have next is the ribbon one. This is kind of a disappointment to me. This is a New York tweed, and it's a cotton grid base, and then it's got 2 different types of ribbons threaded through it. I love the tweed. I love the base of the beaded trim is green vintage sequins, and I love them, and I love all the beads that I used, but the whole isn't greater than the parts. So yeah, I keep meaning to pull this apart and try and find a different way of beading it. But because I could just use all of these things in separate other things, and I'm sure they'd turn out better. But I still like it, so I've kept it. And this one is another lint and tweed. It's pink with little bits of red in there as well. This tweed was really nice to work with. Some tweeds are more stable than others, and this one was pretty robust to use. And I've also got it in a blue with little bits of red in it. And I also really, really love this beaded trim. Well, it's a buttons really, and with micro seed beads on the top. And you can't really tell from this footage, but the beads are actually red. They're quite a dark red, and there's also some wine coloured ones in there. They're those Japanese frosted glass beads, and they were just a joy to work with as well. And this is the first time I'd used buttons, I think. So yeah, it was fun to make this one, and it's just so nice to wear because it looks quite conservative, so you can wear it to most meetings, but it's also got buttons. So I don't know, it's kind of a little bit quirky, but it passes as being really conservative and boring, so you can wear it to lots of things as well. Whereas this one, I wasn't sure whether to include this one or not, because it's sort of, the colours in it are coral, red, beige and white, and but it's also got this burnt orange silk lining. And yeah, so I always sort of think of it as, because if you've seen my Instagram page, I sort of file everything under a colour. They're sort of colour sections. So there'll be a red section, and there's a dozen different jackets showing there. And then the orange section, and there's a dozen different ones there, or the green section. This one, I never know which colour to file under, but the plastic soldiers on it and quite a few of the beads are red, so I just thought I'd include it. And it was the first one where I used invisible thread and hand stitched toys into the beaded trim, and I really want to do that again. I've got some gorgeous dinosaurs and things, so speaking of, this Italian tweed is absolutely gorgeous. And I think I'm going to do all over beading on this, but I do have like toys, dinosaurs and stuff in all of these colours. So if I did make a beaded trim, I could use all of these, pick up all of these, like that acid green, mustard, autumn colours like the orange and the neon red. I've got like a whole bunch of these teeny tiny little dinosaurs in all these colours, and then I could just thread beads through them. That would be completely awesome. Oh, I also use the burnt orange. I bought like 10 or 15 yards. It wasn't cheap or anything, but I just fell in love with that colour, and it's just, I swear, whenever I use this silk on to make a jacket, I wear it more just because I love that colour lining so much. And of course it's silk, so it feels beautiful. But I still can't decide what colour beads to, embellish this one with. I guess I could just do a black beaded trim. That would sort of be the cheats or the boring way to do it. But yeah, I'd really like to use, I love the Edinburgh Schnell tweed jacket of mine that I made. You get a glimpse of it in the opening sequence. And with that, I just used everything. I sort of picked up all the colours. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do that sort of red, orange, mustard, acid green, black, and also some clear beads to sort of pick up on the white, but there's also teal in there. So yeah, I'm really not sure what to do. Anyway, we'll move on to the next one. So this jacket I made a year ago. I made it in February last year. I didn't bead it until a few months later, But yeah, I love the way it turned out. Originally, I bought it because I felt like I needed some more conservative tweed jackets. So I bought a red one because most people, like red. I don't. It's okay, but yeah, the tweed was kind of boring, I guess. And I bought it because I felt like I need more jackets to wear to just corporate type meetings. And then, I didn't know how to bead it. I was just going to do a plain black beaded trim, like a really simple one. But then I just remember I was going through all my beads, sort of sorting them out and seeing what there was to use. And I just had so many glass pearls. And I thought, well, maybe I could just use like practically all of them on this one jacket. And yeah, it's very Elizabethan to sew pearls into clothes. And I just thought, let's just double down and do it so extreme and so extravagant that it kind of looks boring. So from far away, it just looks plain. It doesn't look like anything. But if you know what you're looking at and you can tell that it was done like by hand and by eye, and yeah, I love the way it turned out. Absolutely gorgeous. And this is another one I did this. This is one of the last beaded trims that I did. And oh my goodness, this one took forever. The jacket is made out of velvet. It's like a really, really super expensive velvet with flowers woven into it. So gorgeous. And then, yeah, I made the jacket years and years ago, but I could never decide how to bead it, because back then all the jackets I made pretty much had beaded trim on them. And I couldn't decide whether to just do a plain black one or a plain red one. But then, yeah, in February last year, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go for broke. And I'm going to try and use up all the flowers and red and black sequins that I can on this one. And yeah, I think I used up too many. There's also bead clusters in there as well. So there's just so much work in this beaded trim. And yeah, it took so much time and effort and skill. and there's, yeah, I love it. But I think if I'd made it a little less over the top, then I would consider wearing it more, because it's just so extravagant. And yeah, I mean, look at the fabric. It's so sublime. It didn't really need much. It feels like, those tiny cupcakes with there's 3 times as much frosting as there is actual cupcake. It feels like one of those cupcakes, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And given how many jackets I have, it's nice to have a few that are completely over the top. But yeah, it would definitely be more wearable, or wearable on more occasions, if it was a little less extreme and extravagant. That said, I mean, sometimes I just take it out and look at it, because the work, I'm so proud of the skill and imagination that went into making that one. It's very beautiful. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. So many gorgeous tweeds. Even if you didn't decorate them at all, they're still completely beautiful. Okay, this one is called Barbie Learns to Code, because in the Matrix movie, they've got that green code. Well, because it's pink, it's Barbie Learns to Code. So the actual tweed, I think I took some footage of just the inside of the jacket here. So here's the tweed, and it's brown and black, and then it's got blobs in fluoro pinks, musk, dusty pink, and white. I know it sounds hideous, and yeah, for the longest time, I couldn't figure out how to bead this one. I did try and bead it with sort of greyish, browny black beads and it just didn't work at all. So I took them off again. And then I was like, oh, I don't know. And I always tried, for the longest time, I avoided adding more pink to it because I thought, oh, it's loud enough, it's loud enough. But then I added these and they sort of make it look the dots look three-dimensional. And I love it so much. I love this jacket. If this one hadn't turned out, then I probably would have stopped doing all the embellishing, all over beading. But I tried it with the vintage jumper dress that I made a couple of weeks ago. It's very all dots. I've still got that mannequin sitting here as I'm editing, and it's growing on me. I'm not sure if I like it, but it's growing on me. Okay, so the next tweed it's another Linton tweed, and I bought this one because it looks like it's from 1960. It is so adorable. From far away, it looks like a sort of, I don't know, a dusty rose pink colour, but then up close it's sort of got purpley mauve colour in there and yellow and orange. It's just the most gorgeous mix of colours. I did do a trial section of beading on the back. It's seed beads. You can see at the top I do one row of straight beads and then I over bead them. But I'm not sure. I've left it on there because sometimes I like it and then another time I'll get it out and I don't like it. So, yeah, I'll just leave that. I've got so many other jackets to work on. I'll just leave that for the moment. I'm not sure how to finish it off. Here is another one that I'm not sure how to finish it. So this is another Linton tweed, and I handmade this fringe at the bottom out of some of the threads, and I just bought a bunch of different yarns, but there's also some thread in there. And then on the back, I decided I was going to bead it with all these apricot coloured pearls in different sizes. But I did this trial section and then I counted out all the beads I would need to do the entire jacket, and I do not have enough beads. So now I either have to buy more beads, and these are really expensive, good quality glass pearls. So yeah, or I have to do something else. So I've just left it at that stage because I'm trying to use up the beads I have, not buy more stuff. So yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to move forward on this one, but I don't know. Maybe I should bead it with pink, add some pink in there as well as the apricot. That would look cute. Or I don't have the pale pink pearl beads that I have are very pale, so but I have some sort of brighter pink plastic beads, so maybe I'll do that. Anyway, so the next one we have is, this is one of my early ones. You can tell the early ones, they just look so adorable. And yeah, it's again, it's the Vogue 7975 pattern, and it's a Linton tweed. And it's this really old-fashioned tweed. It's so gorgeous. It's pink and the threads in there, the yarns in there, there's a beige one. You can't really tell there's beige in there. But there's also this yarn that's twisted black and white, and it is so cute because I have this habit, once I make the jacket or cut out the pieces at least, I pull apart a bit of tweed and just sort of see which ones are in there. And then I make the beaded trim to match all the different yarns and threads that are in there. So, yeah, I kind of wish I'd used a multicoloured beads on that one. This is a Chanel tweed. Isn't it beautiful? It's so pretty. For the longest time, I thought I should do colourful beads on this one. But then, yeah, I just finally decided to do, because it's white as well as loads of different colours. And I wasn't sure about the white in there. I thought it kind of waters down all the beautiful colours. And, yeah, so I wasn't sure. I sort of thought I'll do the beading in reds and hot pinks. But then I used them up on this other jacket. And, yeah, I ended up doing white beads, and it's so cute. The next step on this one, it's not finished yet, obviously. I have to sew on the lining and then do that top section of the jacket, and then it'll be finished. I'll probably do it next month because there's another jacket another Chanel tweed that I also have to finish. So I'll probably do both of those two together. But oh, it's so pretty. I don't know why I keep putting it off, but if a jacket's only half done, then it's just mine and no one else gets to see it. And because people say some really hideous things whenever you go out into the world. And I don't know, I guess I just like having things that are just mine. But I'm showing it to you, so all the bad comments will no doubt come in. But this is this was inspired by a Valentino collection from a couple of years ago where they had loads of color blocking and gorgeous colors. I've just recently finished that dress, so I just put it onto there, and I just think they're adorable. And because my Valentino handbag is fluoro pink, the rock stud one, so yeah, this would be the perfect outfit. I normally just wear my jackets with jeans and a t-shirt, to be honest, but these do look absolutely adorable together, and I love this beading so much. But it's a bit much. It's a bit cumbersome. I think I would like to pull apart this beaded trim and make a beaded jacket with all this beaded trim, and then with this pink tweed jacket, I'd like to just put boring-ish sort of pink beads on it. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'll leave it this way for now because it's absolutely adorable. But I think eventually, in 5 years or something, that's what I'll do. And there's the dot one with the Barbie Learns to Code with the polka dot dress. It's a Minnie Mouse dress. They're so cute together. It's not the kind of outfit I would normally wear, but it's very cute. Whereas this one, I would totally, that's very me, that outfit. Ooh, I think there's only one jacket left to show you. I think I've shown you all the other ones. Ooh, look at those beads. So gorgeous. Speaking of beading, excessive amounts of beading ahead. There's actually a tweed jacket under this, but I love this. I just I didn't mean to do so many beads, but this is what the tweed looks like underneath. It's actually really pretty. It's hot pink, red, Sonia, that sort of coral color, beige and sort of white with tiny little gold mini sequins. And as you can see on the back, I left it's sort of deconstructed at the back a bit, and you can see patches of what the actual tweed jacket was like. But most of it, yeah, I just sort of sewed in a small amount of beads, and then I just kept going and going and going, and it just kept looking better and better and better the more beads I added. So yeah, I just love the way it turned out. It's amazing. It's obviously you can't make every jacket like this, but I'm so tempted. And it doesn't photograph well because I used a couple of sequins and the light hits it wrongly. So whenever you try and photograph it, it just, compared to how it looks in real life, it doesn't photograph well. But I kind of like that about it. I love things that, you can't capture their essence. You just have to appreciate the real thing. I like that about it. And yeah, sometimes this is another one that I just get it out sometimes and just look at all the work in there. I love it because it's beautiful, but also because it just requires so much technique to structurally keep something with that much beading as a jacket and not fall apart. So yeah, you really have to think about how you put each bead on and the order that you put them on, and I talk about it in the video where I made it. But anyway, so those are the jackets that I have in my collection, and these are the tweeds that I have to make up into jackets. So I'm thinking most of the jackets that I have in the pink and red part of my collection, They're the Vogue 7975, which is Karl Lagerfeld era type jacket. And all these ones, I think I'm going to make them up as vintage Chanel style jackets. So that looser cardigan baggy look jacket, Chanel jacket. So yeah, I really love the pink and green tweeds. This one is gorgeous too. It's more of a rainbow tweed, but from far away it looks pale pink. And I was thinking maybe this one, but in April I'm going to have a month where I just do rainbow tweeds. And yes, I'm so sad that I actually have a month's worth of rainbow tweeds. So I think I might leave it till then, and I might use the blue flowers in it because yeah, royal blue with pale pink. Oh, I just love that combination so much. So I think I have time to do one more Chanel style jacket this month. I think I'll do that 1960s looking one because that is absolutely adorable. I'm not sure how I'll beat it, but yeah, I think it's a gorgeous tweed. I know I should keep some that don't have beads on them at all, but I can't do it. I'm just if you saw how many boxes there are of my bead collection, you would understand. But also, I'm really good at embellishment. It's my thing, more so than sewing. So, yeah, and it's a skill that I want to keep up with and keep improving. So, yeah. All my jackets will be beaded. Well, the tweed ones, yeah, I still want to make some floral jackets as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this glimpse at my collection and that you've perhaps been inspired to make your own Chanel style jacket. They are a huge investment in time. I mean, it's taken me a decade and a half almost to make all these jackets, but yeah, I think they're totally worth it. They're just so beautiful and you have them for the rest of your life. Totally worthwhile.